All right, I'm about to go to sleep, but I wanted to get this thought onto a video before I go to sleep just because I think it's a good one and it kind of goes hand in hand in what I was talking about in yesterday's video and the fact of just like worrying about things that are out of your control and 95% of things you can't really control. But I wanted to talk about that and kind of how it goes hand in hand with risk because I think a lot of people I wouldn't say it affects me as much, but I know a lot of people that it does. And the fact of, just worrying, you want to take this risk, right? You want to take this risk, you want to take this leap, whatever it may be, starting a business, putting up capital for some investment that you want to make, whatever risk it may be. It doesn't have to be like financially or with businesses. It could be in any aspect of your life, taking a risk with a new sport, a relationship, a goal, physically, whatever it may be, taking a risk. And a lot of people get worried about it, and you worry about it so much in your mind. And you kind of have to think about it in terms of, we're all gonna die anyway, right? And so by you delaying your risk, you're only getting closer to the end of your timeline, day by day by day. And especially while you're young, I tell everyone that's my age or younger and they want to just take a risk and they're worried about, like the financial risk, especially when I talk about it to them, like with anything business related, and they're so scared to take a risk. But I don't think a lot of people realize is literally just every single day, every single hour that you take away from delaying that risk just because you're afraid of what's going to happen, you're worried of what's going to happen, what the outcome is. But everyone automatically defaults to the negative outcome of that risk that they take. But 95% of the time, God makes it something greater than you could ever even imagine. And even if it fails, it's not the end of the world because that happened for a reason. God has a plan for everything. And when you sit there and kind of dwell on these things and you don't allow yourself to take the risk, you're not only hurting your future self, you are just limiting the amount of experiences that you can have in your life. And would you rather be like in my case, I always think a lot to the younger kids my age. When I talk to them, just thinking about like, would you rather be 40 years old and not have taken any of the risks that you wanted to take when you were 17, 18 years old? You're going to look back and you're going to regret those. And you're going to regret the fact that you didn't take that risk, you didn't take that jump. Even if you do take those risks and they don't work out, the worst case scenario is, especially at that age, you have that fine window before you go into college, before stuff gets serious. Once college is over, your life is kind of set in stone. Your decisions that you make between, I would say, anywhere from 18 to around 24, those kind of set up the rest of your life forever. And if you don't establish good habits, you're just going to be set up for the same path that everyone else takes. And I know that's not for me, and I know that's not for a bunch of people and a bunch of people watching. So by you not taking a risk, you are, just delaying the chances of you being successful, and you're making that window that you have, it's just shrinking day by day by day by day. And that last day is going to come when you cannot take that risk anymore, and you need to just accept your fate. For some people that's fine, but I know for me, I don't want that. And I know that a bunch of people don't want that. And that's why I'm on here explaining this to you guys, because yeah, you're just setting yourself up for failure. And I know nobody here wants to set themselves up for failure. So take that risk, because your days only get more and more limited, and your time only gets more and more valuable as you go on. And so right now, take those risks when stuff doesn't matter. If you start a business and you put money up and you lose it all, nothing happens when you're between the age of like 17 to 24. Even when you're younger, that's even better. Nothing happens. You can just go back to your parents' house. You can move in with a friend. Whatever it may be, you're fine. Like nothing bad is going to happen to you. But when you're older, you're not going to be able to take those risks because you're going to have a family, you're going to have a wife and kids, whatever it may be. You're going to have bigger responsibilities, And those risks, those ideas that you have, they're gone. Just throw them out the window. Just burn them. Set them on the floor and just light them on fire. Those ideas are gone. If you allow that, you're just throwing your life away. And so there's no better day than today to take a risk. I was just watching a video before about this on Greg Levesque. I love watching his stuff. I think he's amazing, and he has some really good like perspectives and mindset shifts that have kind of helped me so far. I've started to drink a lot of those Blue Energy drinks just because of just watching him. And he's really inspiring. But he talks about how all these people that you see that have achieved something great, or they have achieved their goals, they made one decision. They made one decision that changed their life forever. Collectively, it's not just one decision, it's a million decisions across the timeline throughout their success or their journey, right? But it's a million decisions, dozens of decisions every single day, kind of stacking cumulatively towards that one decision that they made initially to reach XYZ goals, right? But yeah, they take one decision, and that one decision changes their entire life. And you can be one decision away, but the only thing that's stopping you is fear and worry. But don't worry, because like I said in the last video, do not worry about anything, but pray about everything. Just leave it up to God and try, because you're not going to be able to take any of this stuff with you. When your day comes, you're not going to be able to take your money. You're not going to be able to take the time that you didn't put into it. Like you get nothing back. You literally get nothing back, and it's all gone. You leave it all here. If you don't maximize it, like, what are you doing? Because if you think about it, no one ever talks about, how much money you have. They never talk about the cars that you have, the Lambos, the Rolex that you have. They never talk about any of that. They measure it in experiences. And if you're not maximizing your experiences, good or bad, what are you doing? Because an experience could be, a failing business. An experience could be you taking your family on a trip of a lifetime because you took that risk. Your experiences are what you should count your life by. Don't worry about the money. Don't worry about any of these things. Take the risk that can literally change your family's life for generations and generations. Because if you don't, you're just throwing it by the wayside, and you're gonna pass away anyway. And you saving that couple $1,000 in the grand scheme of things just to not start that side hustle or business that you wanted to start because you're too scared, you're not only setting yourself up for failure, but you're setting up generations for failure. Obviously it could all come crashing down. It may not work, but at least you took that risk and you took that experience, because then you could maybe help, your kid, or take another experience and try it again, and take another risk and try it again. And maybe it works that time. And so any experience or risk that God, presents to you, puts in your mind, and allows you to be able to chase and achieve or push towards, take that risk, take that experience, because once your time is up, your time's up. I don't want you guys to sit there in 10, 20 years and realize, like, man, like I regret everything that I did because I didn't take enough risk. I didn't take enough action. I didn't act on enough experiences. Whatever it may be, I don't want you guys to have that. And I know I don't want to have that. Be like, man, I wish I filmed everything about it, the ups and the downs. That's why I'm filming these, because I don't want to leave any regrets on the table. And there's been regrets in the past that I've had in just all aspects of life, in business, friendships, relationships, whatever it may be. All right, it cut out in the last clip just because my phone ran out of storage. But my point is, I don't want you guys to leave risks, experiences, and opportunities on the table. God doesn't give everyone the opportunities that you have. Maybe as simple as something like being able to walk, see, and smell. Some people don't have that. Some people don't have the luxury of being able to wake up in a house every single day and capitalize on the things that God presents to you, and take them all, because your time is going to be gone in a couple years. Maybe not a couple years, but decades down the line, or hopefully decades down the line. I don't want you guys to sit there and regret your decisions. So that's what I'm really trying to get at. Just cut out again, but I wanted to get this thought across to you guys and share it with you guys before I forget about it. But I'm going to catch some sleep, and I'll see you boys tomorrow. So crush it.